But I saved the greatest, the Michael Jordan of the 1920s. I think he was better than Michael Jordan today. To
Really?
me, I
Okay.
think he is the best basketball player of all time. My last pick at shooting guard, standing at 5'6", was Ernest Hitler. And you got to keep in mind, the name wasn't a big deal. It was before the guy. It was before that. Hitler used to
it
be
was the 1920s.
synonymous with
I think you got to explain that. It's
basketball.
1920s.
And that guy in the 40s came, and he messed that whole thing up for Ernest Hitler. Now people don't even want to mention him as one of the greatest of all times because they don't want to be confused and think that you're saying that like the guy that killed all the Jewish people and the gypsies, that he's the best basketball player of all time. That's quite, insensitive, and people don't want to get in that conversation. So Ernest Hitler gets completely lost. But he was the very first guy to dribble between his legs, right? He called it a pass to himself. Right? Which blew people's minds, right? He was the very first guy to consider stealing the ball. Back then, you just were patiently, moving your defense around as they patiently moved their all. He was the first guy to say, you didn't do well enough, so I'm going to take that. And maybe next time you'll try harder. Typically, he gave the ball back after that, but he liked to lecture people. He's like, you didn't do a proper chest pass. Your elbows didn't extend all the way, and your wrist didn't flare at the end. He was a big guy on the wrist flare. So Ernest Hitler, he was a legend back then.
Absolutely.
He was the only guy with a ladder, so he got invited to every game to get the ball out if Frankie threw it in. So, he was a good sport inside and outside of the game, and he is a legend, and I think the best basketball player to ever live.